Hey, this is for my single men or just any of you that want to comment and answer. But if you were to see me out and you thought I was cute, would you approach me or you would be like, nah? The reason I ask is like I've had a lot of guys that I've approached and they're like, I would never approach you. And I'm like, why? It just makes me feel like, how many am I missing? But for real, would you? And if not, why?
And I think it's a frustration that I've heard a lot of men mention today, which is ladies want to pick and choose the equality that they have. They didn't really want equality. They wanted the power. They wanted power. And I mentioned the dating dynamics, a prime example where it's like, we still want to be able to have our money and make our own money, but we still want you to pay for all of us. I can still have the nice office. I can still be a boss babe, but you're still paying for the vacations. You're still buying the home. You're still, planning the engagement. You're still proposing. So it's like, we want the benefits of chivalry, but we don't actually want the social contract that came with it. You know what I mean?
Isn't it interesting that so many women thrive being single, but men on their own are notoriously unhappy and dysfunctional? I mean,
that's what they keep on telling them. They hate life, and your life sucks as a man. It's male loneliness epidemic, but I guess I don't know what man is saying that.
I need to know when it became cute and trendy to publicly humiliate and just make fun of your husband. Let's watch this video of this woman videoing her husband while he's catching a baseball with their kids, so playing with his kids. He looks at her while she's recording and is smiling because he thinks that she's admiring him, and her text is saying how much of an ick it was. And then the comments are people just shitting on her husband. She's liking all the comments. It's not that deep. It's just a joke. If your husband did that to you, you would literally file for divorce. You would have thousands of comments of girls and women commenting, telling you to get divorced because your husband's a POS. You realize your husband is a reflection of you. So when you are posting that he's giving you the ick for just existing, what does that say about you? Some of you really did not grow up with immigrant parents, and it freaking shows. Our parents talked to our face in private at home and then sang our praises to people in public. That's how it's supposed to be, without the talking shit at home either.
And I know we like to say a lot of this stuff is just on social media, but there are a lot of women in real life that act like this. When they joke about you, all fun and games, don't take yourself seriously. But then the moment you say something about them or joke about them, all of a sudden it's not funny. That's narcissistic. That's mishandling them. Don't do that. I'm leaving you.
Men disgust me. They disgust me. It is disgusting. Y'all are so disgusting. Y'all are so gross. Y'all need home training because y'all did not get any. To the men that have wives, girlfriends, baby mamas, whatever, I don't care, that do not look at other women, good job. I'm so proud. I love to see it, but I hardly ever do. Hardly ever. Why are y'all like that? I was just so uncomfortable that I didn't even get to spend my time in Target like I wanted to spend my time in Target. I literally left because a man with a pregnant woman, I don't care if they're dating, married, I don't give a crap. You should be looking at your pregnant woman. That is it. Have some respect, have some decency. You are disgusting. I feel better. And no, I'm not tooting my own horn or bragging. I would be okay if no other man besides my man ever looked at me again. Ever. I don't even know what to say right now. It was bad. So bad, I freaking left. I didn't even go to the beauty section in Target, man. Why?
I'm failing to see what this has to do with all the men, though. Are all men doing that?
I don't know how long I can do this, guys. So I was supposed to have a date with someone, a little coffee date today, and I didn't hear from them for the last couple hours, but we had already agreed on a time and a place, so I wasn't really worried about it. And then, so I get here, and I'm like, oh, well, let me just let him know that I'm here. And I had him on Snap. Guess what? He deleted me from Snapchat. I don't know how long I can do this for. So now I'm here having a coffee by myself. The dating diaries continue.
Sorry that happened to you. Be safe out there.
Genuine question. Do men enjoy being single, or is it just women who enjoy being single? Because I'm having a fantastic time. Not going on dates, don't want to. Like, do men enjoy that, or do just women enjoy that?
Yes, they do. They've already said this.
Somebody tell me why there are men on dating apps at the age of 36. 36. Putting that they're not looking for anything serious. and they just want intimacy without commitment. My guy, you're almost like halfway through your life. When do you plan on finding something serious?
You do know that a dating app has options, right? You can be short-term, long-term, casual. That's what they want. They picked a short-term option. I'm not understanding the statement. If you don't like the guy, stay away from him.
Hey guys, if she does this to you, if she's like, there's a point system, you should be like, oh yeah, I have one too. And here's what's on it. Did you cook dinner? No. -2. Did you, is the house tidied up? No. Oh, you keep saying that you have a headache every time we go to have sex. You got no real, excuse. It's just the same bull story. Okay. -40. Listen, she's got a point system for you. You go too and be like, yeah, this isn't going to work for me. So what are we going to do about it? I'm telling you, take that power dynamic and shift it the other way.
I'm going to be brave and I'm going to say it. I don't want all of my feelings validated, because if I turn to you and I say, I've just really been feeling like a dumb ugly for the past 6 months, and you turn back to me and you say, yeah, your feelings are valid, I then have no choice but to buy a gun.
Okay, I feel like I'm kind of on a roll right now. I'm like a little fired up about online dating. So here's another thing for the guys out there. Do not under any circumstances, when you want to take things offline, say, what's your Snapchat? Or, hey, you got IG? Babe, we both know you're going to follow me on Instagram, and that's going to be the end of it. You're going to like my stories for about 3.5 years, maybe send me one little heart eye, and that's the extent of it. And then with Snapchat, it's like you're going to add me and then either not send me a Snapchat ever, so I'm never going to reach out to you myself because that's not my main form of communication with anyone. Second of all, you're going to just send me a text message in Snapchat, so I don't even know that you're real at this point. Or you're going to hit me with a...
So I know you guys don't understand why men would ask this, but there's a guy in the comments that might have explained it. Jay Kings said, okay, truthfully, fellas just ask for both or either and leave it up to them. A lot of girls have the same mindset of it being immature, but also a lot don't want to just be sending their number out to everyone. Trying to make you comfortable, trying to adapt to you. It's not because I'm trying to be weird in all situations.
A lot of these dudes don't care about women's safety unless it's their daughters or moms involved. That's the issue. I mean, I don't know who you expect people to primarily care about, but it's usually your immediate family members. I get, caring about other women, but we're not going to put women that we don't know at the same level as our mothers, sisters, daughters, aunts, all that good shit. As two very different dynamics. For the former, I'm putting my life on the line every day, and I'll put somebody else's life on the line to protect my mother and my daughter. When it comes to a woman that I don't know, no, not just off the strength of them being a woman, absolutely not. Like you're gonna go to jail. We can have all the conversation about ensuring women have safe environments and safe in the streets, safe in wherever the case may be, holding other men accountable, sure, but we're not gonna put women that we don't know at the same level as our family members. Absolutely not.
That doesn't make any sense. It literally doesn't. Why would I be out here running behind you? You don't follow my influence or my direction. I get taken out. Then my family, mom, daughter, wife, at home struggling, trying to figure out what to do next.
I am convinced that if you are looking for a masculine man and you're on a date and you're trying to figure out, is this my guy? Is he a masculine man? If he asks you, what do you bring to the table? Right away, I know he is not a masculine man. This This guy is looking to receive, where that is a feminine quality, to receive. A masculine man is not looking to receive anything. Whether you're a man or a woman, if you're asking what that other person brings to the table, that is more masculine energy. He's like, I mean, if a man asks me, what do I bring to the table? I probably need to have a good conversation and sit down with them just to try to get into my feminine, because he's giving off more feminine energy than I am. And that's, that's interesting. That's definitely not the man I want to be with, because I'm not looking for a man that is looking to be a receiver. But I think it's a very, very good indication if you're looking for a masculine man. And he drops on the what do you bring to the table? Just run the other way. Run the other way, right away.
Somebody in the comments said it best. It'll be some of these women that have all of these standards, but then when you ask them something, all of a sudden, a man can't have preferences.
Men need to understand, take it from a woman.
Listen to this.
Cheating on somebody ain't the end of the world. We get cheated on all the time and we stay. So now she's sleeping with other men and now he having a tantrum. Why y'all in y'all feelings? Like, get out your feelings, bro.
First of all, once your girl cheats on you, she's nothing no more. She's worth nothing. To a man who has pride and believe in himself. Once you find out for sure your girl has stepped outside of the marriage, no matter how much you smile with her, no matter how much you try to fix it, no matter how much you play it off, her worth is at zero. This is the truth. If you are caught sleeping with other men, if your man has any belief in himself, your worth is at zero. He's just walking through the motions after that.
And she thought she cooked on that. She thought she cooked on that. Girl, go sit down.
The secret to finding a good man is to hate men. And I know you guys are going to say, oh my God, how does that make any sense? When you hate men, you don't make excuses for them or their behavior. When you hate men, you will never meet a man that is not where he's supposed to be at in life and start feeling sorry for him or start trying to help him. When you hate men and a man disrespects you or does something wrong to you, you will not start feeling sympathy for him. You will not start caring about how he lost his grandmother in the 2nd grade. You're not gonna give a fuck about any of that because you already can't stand them. I also think when you hate men and you're dating, but men know that, they also know a little bit to tread a little lightly with you, because it's like, I really don't even like your kind, right? I'm already not too fond of y'all. So the ice, you start on ice. And you make your way to the ground, but you start on ice before it gets solid. So yeah, I thought I'd make this video because a lot of people have been tagging me in this one creator's video where she's talking about how women that hate men end up in the best relationships, and those that know me know that I loathe the existence of men. So yeah, and I think it just tracks. I just think it just tracks. I don't have any sympathy for these men. Like I don't play.
I mean, you could just set boundaries. God forbid you do that.
I'm thinking about how dumb that period of time where everybody was like, I'm just a girl. I'm just a girl. Oh, I don't understand. I'm just a girl. Can't learn. It's like we're trying to set ourselves back there. Oh, all I'm going to do today is just get a sweet treat and play with my hair because I'm just a girl.
Hey, sweetness.
Saw on the internet, I need to get something off my chest. Yesterday, my stepdaughter graduated and I wasn't invited. I've been in her life since she was 4 months old. Married her mother when she turned 2. I've been there, consistent, showing up, providing, loving her like my own. But come graduation day, I wasn't given a seat. Like word, they told me there were only 8 tickets. Let me tell you who made the list. My wife, her 2 sisters, her biological dad, her uncle, her grandma, her aunt, and her boyfriend. 8 tickets and I wasn't one of them. Bet. I've been sitting with that pain all day. I took time off work. 3 days gone. I drive trucks. That's money and time I can't get back. And still I got left out. So today I made some decisions. I removed her from my car and health insurance, took her off everything I'd been covering, told her mother, and she's grown and graduated. She can go stay with her father, the one she made room for over me. Now there's tension in my house. Emotions are high, but I'm standing on what I feel. Because the truth is, I'm hurt, not mad, just deeply, genuinely hurt. I don't need any applause. I just need to speak my truth. Thanks for listening.
I think there was a woman in the comments that started off with the original posters leaving something out. Somebody came back and said, it could be. However, the situation like this has happened to stepfathers a lot. You're an outsider, and a lot of the time, in a lot of situations, they'll come up and the point will be loud and clear. Simply put, in a lot of situations, to be a stepfather is a bad investment. It's a bad choice. Everyone comes before you. Never volunteer to put yourself last. A lot of men feel like this. A lot of men have gone through this. There's a guy in the comments that said, no, he's not leaving anything out. This is what happened to me. You fast forward a few years, there was an apology coming from her. It's other people in her life that are influencing her. Again, some of these guys are going through this stuff to where they're being put last. They're expected to put in all the investment for years. And when nothing materializes and nothing comes from it, just be happy you were in my presence. How is that a good deal?
I think that guys should pay their wives to be the primary caregiver. Why the hell not? That would solve so many problems. And I don't know why anyone would be against that. I believe in contracts that you should go into the marriage, literally a legal contract, which is, I'm going to mother your children, but guess what? That's a job. I'm going to get paid for it. If it's monopoly money, if it's fake money, it doesn't even matter. You are going to get paid for it when your husband is the provider and he is paying for all your crap. That's fine. But he's not just paying for your stuff. He's paying you to be the caretaker, the primary caregiver for your children, and then you do whatever you want with the money. Now that sounds crazy. I know my brain is weird for thinking that, but even the relationship I'm in now, I had him sign a contract. He's a lawyer. He only thinks black and white. He knows contracts. So I actually wrote out a contract saying, the next time that you do this, I promise I'm going to do this. And I made him sign it. And then I did my own contract. Like, I am not going to freak out when you do this. And I signed the contract. That means something to me. I look at that, I'm like, damn, I signed the contract. Now I can't get mad at him for that. But it means something. You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on.
A guy in the comments said, okay, but let's sign a prenup first. No alimony once the divorce happens. She commented back. She responded back, So now you got to think about it.
And another thing, some of you women hate to see a woman bring out the best in a man that y'all done fell with.
I've seen a lot of girls make videos about the type of guy that they would be if they were born a man, and 99.9% of them are literally just them being Steve Rogers, 6'4", perfect body, drowning in pitch, successful, and I'm thinking to myself, we are delusional. Like, you have to keep this in mind, right? If you're a guy, you're just gonna turn into your male counterpart. Like, you're not gonna get to restart, you're not getting injected with the super serum to turn into the perfect individual. You're gonna be you, but as a guy. I've also seen a lot of girls say that they would be the perfect man because they would just do the bare minimum that girls want and then just be drowning in would take them out on dates, buy them gifts, talk to them, communicate, yada yada. And although this does sound like a good idea in theory, I promise you, as unfortunate as it sounds, somewhere down the line, you're gonna get taken advantage of. Like, your name is gonna be saved on the contacts as free food. And you're gonna be... And if you truly wanted to be a guy and you fantasize about living that lifestyle and how much better it would be than you as a girl, then who's stopping you, you know? The town inside me and everyone's voice. Only I'm not there, just watching from afar. I can go. I feel like at some point we have to face reality and just acknowledge the fact that if we were to turn into the opposite sex, it would not be this insane transformation that you think it will be. I'll be the first to admit, if I turned into a girl, I would not morph into Adriana Lima overnight. I would just be me as a girl, right? I'd probably be a 5'2" Latina with a fat ass and curly hair, and that's about it. You know, I wouldn't be anything special. I would make it work, but I know that I'm not going to have this incredibly much better life than I have right now, because I'd still be me.
One thing that will never, ever, ever cease to amaze me is the audacity of a man. There is just nothing else on planet Earth like it. I went on a date recently, and it was a horrendous date. And to preface that, I go on a lot of dates, and I've never left a date feeling like the person who I was on a date with was a bad person. I felt like, oh, we're not super compatible, like, oh, this isn't a good relationship, but I've never felt like I would never spend time with you in any context, like even outside of a romantic relationship. This was one of those times. This man was so incredibly pretentious and like so arrogant, and he just like was communicating that he thought he was better than everybody else. And it was really a first for me because I don't go on many bad dates. And he kept implying on the date that we would see each other again. He was like, you know, when we do our second date here, when we do this again. And I kept doing my best to be like, no. Like, I kept being like, oh, like I might be out of town, or like, oh, I don't think we share a lot of hobbies, like, oh, I wouldn't want to do that, and like that'll be super fun for you to do with somebody else. And so I felt like I was doing my best, and I thought I communicated that well, but apparently not, because he still at the end of the day communicated that he wanted to see me again. So in the morning I was like, let me send a really nice text. I don't often ghost. Like, I think I've ghosted someone like once in my life, and so I was like, you know, I think it was nice to see you, like, it was nice to meet you, I just don't think we're super compatible, like, I wish you nothing but the best. This man responds, He responds and it's just like, just a word of advice so that you get more second dates in the future. You shouldn't share so much about yourself on a first date. Mind you, the only things he knows about me are like my first name and like my general job. You guys know more about me than this man does. Like if you're watching this video right now, you've probably learned more about me than this man knew. Because I do talk a lot, but when I don't like somebody, I'm usually really, really silent. So I was quite silent for this entire day. And just to give you an idea of like, if you're not perceiving how crazy that is, that's like the equivalent of if you went in to quit your job and you looked the HR lady in the face and you were just like, hey, like, I'm putting in my 2 weeks, like, I don't want to come here anymore. And she's just like, just a word of advice so that you're able to keep a job in the future, you bum. And you're just like, but I don't want to keep this job. I want to give this job back to you. And she just won't take it. Like, you're trying to throw this job at her and she's like, no, keep it. Yeah. So I think men are like up here with the audacity. And I think as women, we could at least meet them like halfway. Because right now we're like all the way here. And in the name of feminism, we should at least be here.
So Roberto in the comments highlighted a quote that she said in the video, I go on a lot of dates. I caught that one too. J.E. responded, free meals. She's got it down to a science. She doesn't even ghost anymore because she's got her pretext ready to get out of any more future dates. Exactly. Out here wasting time, wasting money, and then saying that men have the audacity.
So you have a degree, you have a good job, and you love God, but you still single. Let me break down the truth that nobody want to tell you. A lot of women says there are no good men left. They waiting on a Boaz, but it's a little deeper than that. There are unrealistic expectations and then there's reality. After watching quite a few episodes of Pop the Balloon, I realized that a lot of women have unrealistic expectations, as if nothing is wrong with them. It was a lot of beggars trying to be choosers. I don't know if it's because we grew up with, dreaming of our dream wedding and our dream man, that we want him to come a certain way and be a certain height and have this certain money and all these things. And so when a typical man approaches you, you be like, I don't want that. Meanwhile, he's on your level. A lot of women don't want the male version of themselves. When you see the male version of yourself, you realize that you probably ain't crap either. When you find the male version of yourself and you don't like it, that's probably because you got some work to do as well. A lot of women are here and expecting a man to be here. And it's the same for men because they be here and wanting a woman up here. If you have been doing the work on yourself and making sure that you are presentable, that your mind is renewed, that everything about you is what you're expecting of someone else, then it's no problem. But when you are not what you are requiring of someone else, it's time to look in the mirror. It's time to take some notes. It's time to make a change.
And I'm glad you mentioned Boaz, because some of these young ladies would not qualify for a man of that stature. This man was running businesses back in the day, and guess who would have been arguing with Boaz while he was trying to make money? Some of these women today. But guess what Ruth did? Listened to the advice of her mother-in-law of her late husband. Went there, actually worked in Boaz's businesses, helping him, supporting him to build what he had going on. And then when the time was right, presented herself in the way that her mother-in-law told her to. And guess what happened? You guessed it, she got married. Oh, and by the way, guess who the great-grandson of Ruth was? King David. King David. And guess who came from the lineage of King David? Jesus Christ. Now imagine with me the great pedigree of your line, of your legacy, to say, yep, he came from me. Yep, that brother came from me. But some of you young ladies won't ever get that chance because all you care about is yourself and following what you want to do.
And honey, if you don't believe that men are always going to have the audacity, think again. I have to tell y'all this story. I just came back from Vegas yesterday, and this is a clear-cut example of why I've stopped. I'm in the casino. I'm there in Vegas with my grandma. She's a high roller. She loves to gamble. So she comes once a month, and she asked me to come this time. I'm sitting in the casino. I'm gambling with her. She's a few machines away. This guy walks by, and he smiles at me, and I smile back. 2 seconds later, he comes back, and he says, hey, I just wanted to ask you, are you here with another man? I said, no, I'm not. He said, well, I just wanted to make sure I didn't encroach on anybody's territory. My name is, we'll call him Daniel. Nice to meet you. Would you like to get a drink at the bar with me later? I think you're really pretty. So he approached correct. I figured, why not? He seems like a nice guy. He was like, I have to go pick up my card from Louis Vuitton because I just bought a bunch of stuff, and then I have to go pick up a car. Can I come back and bring you out to have a drink later at the bar over here. I'll give you a call. I said, sure. We exchanged numbers.
So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say he approached correctly, but when he said Louis Vuitton, that got your attention, your full attention. And so now I think what's going to happen is you're going to talk about, oh man, well, he's got money. Well, maybe he'll spend some of that money on me. I might be wrong. Well, let's see.
He calls me about 2 hours later after picking up this rental car that he got for the week. And we meet at the bar, the Bellagio. We're sitting there, we're having a great conversation. The liquor is flowing. He like deals like Pokemon cards in Denver and owns like 4 or 5 stores. So I'm like, bingo, rich.
And there it is. I think it's about to go downhill.
He's telling me about his life. I'm telling him about my life. We talk about careers, blase, right? All of a sudden, he gets like 4 phone calls in a row. And he's so distracted by these phone calls that like he can't even pay attention to one of them. So immediately in my head, I was like, oh, he got a bit there. He got some girl he's here with, or his wife, that is waiting on him and is wondering where the hell he is. So he looks up at me after texting this person back and says, so I need to get your opinion on something. And me thinking I'm a total stranger, I'm like, what opinion could I share that would change? Why do you need my opinion? He goes on to say, I met this girl in Dallas and she just texted me that she's on the way. And I think that she thinks that she's staying with me. I said, so let me stop you right there. Let's pump the brakes. You met a girl in Dallas a week ago. You're here in Vegas by yourself, supposedly. You're now telling me that another woman who has your phone number is calling you and texting you and telling you that her plan to get on the flight is happening and she will be here soon. And you don't think that I think that she's gonna stay with you? I was just so confused by the question because it was just, I knew it was a heat check. He was like, well, I'm really enjoying my time with you. And like, I've never slept with this girl, but she is coming to stay with me. I said, oh, so now she's staying with you. Caught him in a lie. All I could do, child, was just giggle and laugh. I looked at him. I said, would you like me to cover these drinks or do you want to? He said, oh no, I'll take care of it. I got up and I walked out of the bar. Girl, if it's one thing that a man will do, it's push his fucking try it with you. Don't let these men play in your face. He's sitting here pretending like he ain't got a coming that he made a plan with because he enjoys your company. Girl.
You didn't really catch him in anything. He was setting you up. We're going to have a little night of fun. This girl from Dallas, quote unquote, and you over here that I just met at a bar. I'm trying to heat check you to see if you want to come along. That's why he opened up with Louis Vuitton. I'm trying to see, what's up? I'm going to come correct. And then I'm going to throw out, oh, I got a little money because I'm going to Louis Vuitton. And that did actually catch your attention. So then after that, he said, well, I have these businesses, which might be true, might be a lie. Who knows? The point is, I'm subtly throwing my money at you to let you know, hey, maybe I can spend this or spend that. And if you're down, you can go back to the hotel and have a little fun. What do you say? Y'all be out here running into these dudes and almost getting caught because y'all mindset be in the wrong place. But of course, it's just the man that's the issue here.
This is what I'm talking about. When women have these conversations around like, oh, I was a people pleaser and I just let people walk all over me. I got to be so strict with my boundaries. A lot of times they are saying this and they're talking about men. Women never even take into consideration that sometimes people have to enforce boundaries on you. You're the person that needs a boundary. So much of the talking points that women have, they never take into consideration that someone has to enforce them on you as well. Women never think about that part. They never think about the fact that someone will eventually create a boundary with you. And depending on what type of character you have, will show if you're going to respect it or not. Women 1010% do not like when people put boundaries. It's almost like the equivalent of when somebody just walk up to you and start touching your hair. Like women just we both women. We both black. We both wear weaves. Like we sisters. It don't really work like that. It doesn't really work like that, you guys. It just does not really work like that. Now that don't mean that we can't, it don't mean that we can't have shared interests. It don't mean that we can't respect one another, and it don't mean that I can't support you. You still can get that part, but this obsession with like, it's just, I hope I'm making sense. It's just, I have seen it so much. The women never think about the idea that having boundaries and not people pleasing applies to them too. Women only think about people pleasing and boundaries when it comes to men. They never think about the fact that women don't have to people please for women either. It's a lot of women out here trying to entertain women, trying to win a validation of other women. Like, them days is gone, you guys. Them days is gone. Like, we're showing up as our authentic self. Okay, I'm not gonna change. I'm not trying to change nobody's mind about me, baby. Whatever your mind is on is what your mind is on. This is what it's gotta be. That is it. It don't mean we gotta be disrespectful to one another, but gone are the days where we out here trying to win over people. Like I want you to see me. Like, no, girls. Like, no.
That's what men be saying. Some of these women out here don't like when a man says, hey, no, we're not going to be doing that. Oh, if you're broke, just say that. I am broke. I'm not going to be continuing to spend money on somebody that doesn't like me. I'm not going to continue to go out and do things when you don't even have any interest in me. You're just talking. You're just wasting my time and my resources at this point. This is a boundary. Don't come across it. Oh, you sassy. Talking to men any kind of way. Hey, we're not going to be doing that. Oh, you sassy. You ain't go back and forth with a woman. I'm not going back and forth with you. I'm just letting you know you're not going to be popping off at the mouth.
Woo! Some of y'all women gonna get mad at me today, so if you can't take constructive criticism, baby, keep on scrolling. Many of you women are not really what you think you're cracked up to be. Like, some of y'all are really not great people to be in relationships with. Y'all know I work with couples every single day, and I'm gonna go ahead and make a list of everything that I have to work through. First things first, quit coming into relationships trying to make a man secure your insecurities. That's your job. If you lack confidence, if you have low self-esteem, if there's still trauma that you're operating in, if you're self-critical, if you're judgmental when it comes to yourself, if you blame yourself, if you're still operating in guilt and trauma and everything else, baby, that's for you to handle, not him. Respect his space. Like, stop becoming so preoccupied and hyper aware of what a man has going on. As soon as you see his mood is off a little bit, you start becoming overwhelming. What's wrong? Let me tell you how men are. A lot of men, when they are going through stuff, they may end up withdrawing or retreating because they're trying to figure it out. They're not always upset at you. Their moods are not changing just because of you. People go through things in a way that men are. They don't express themselves as much as we do as women. It's okay. Give that man some space. Oh yeah, the clinginess. Clinginess is cute to an extent, baby, but once you become codependent and you're always getting jealous whenever this person goes out, and you become anxious whenever they're not around you, you start blowing up their phones when they go hang out with their friends, that is problematic, and you're gonna push them away. As much as many of you all don't want to believe it, it's absolutely okay for a man to admire another woman. As long as it is a quick look, boom, and he's not staring, and he doesn't have a wandering eye, and he's not impulsive, and he's not a cheater. If he's all of those, baby, why are you with him in the first place? You're ignoring the red flags. You're settling. As long as that man is not window shopping or ordering off the menu, relax. He has a visual appetite. If he sees a beautiful woman, it's okay to admire. Just like if you see a handsome man, you're going to admire him too. Relax. Stop letting yourself go. Just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean that you need to stop doing everything that you did in the beginning. If you always kept your skin together, your nails together, your lashes together, your hair done, your body was waxed up at the beginning, keep that same energy. Hold your end of the relationship. Remember, visual. A man still has a visual appetite, and he loves what he sees, baby, because you're going to stimulate a whole lot more in him. Don't let yourself go because you secured the relationship. As much as you want to believe it, you're not always right. As much as you want to always be in control, you have to let some things go, baby. You cannot love a man the way you want to love him. If you study him, if you pay attention, if you actually listen, I guarantee you he would tell you how to love him. You cannot limit the way you love him to a love language. That's why I hate the conversation of love language. You can ask a man, what's your favorite love language? And he can say, oh, acts of service. And you think that's all you have to do to love him? No, baby, you got to study your man. Stop nagging him all the time. It's perfect. Okay, quit always expressing your dissatisfactions. If you see he's putting in efforts in other places, please uplift those efforts. Acknowledge him. Show that you appreciate that. If it's something like a pet peeve, baby, compromise. I know a lot of women have a hard time compromising. Baby, you got to find a middle ground. Sometimes it's just not worth you bringing up a dissatisfaction. A lot of you all just be nagging. You're pushing that man away. It's okay. He's not always going to fit your idea. He's not always going to satisfy you in every area. Baby, I promise you, every trait that you may have on your beautiful checkoff list, he may not measure up to every single one of them. That's why you have to be selective. But stop nagging all the time. You can't read minds and you can't predict the future. So stop trying to interpret things and stop trying to jump to conclusions. Baby, it's not healthy. It's a distorted way of thinking and it will kill your relationship. Being independent is okay, but why do you have to be so independent that you're unreceptive? Men love to be needed. If you're so independent that you won't even allow him to help, what is he there for? Stop involving everybody in your relationship. I don't care if it's friends or family. They have no place to be in your relationship. So stop involving them. Their opinions do not matter. Their advice does not matter. They are not the person that you were sleeping with. Relax. You think you're doing something when you're comparing your man to everybody else. You're comparing your man to your best friend's husband, yada, yada, yada. And now he's pretending to be something that he's not. That's very uncomfortable for a man. Baby, constructive criticism and destructive criticism are real things. If you're always criticizing, you're going to push him away and he's going to end up faking things and that's going to make him unhappy and then the intimacy is going to decline. And whose fault is that going to be? Yeah, because you were comparing. Many of you ladies are not the inspiration that you think that you are. I'm sorry to break it to you. If you're always operating in your comfort zone and you refuse to take risks and you lack intellectual intimacy, you don't go out there and try to learn new things, baby, you're not reaching new opportunities, you're always low in your confidence, you're not really inspiring this person. If this person is trying to grow, and you want to stay and you want to be on social media or on your phone and everybody else's business, and you're not really doing anything to add to his fruition, baby, eventually he's going to grow without you. Pessimism. Stop being negative all the time. Communication. Learn to listen. Validate their experiences. Don't interrupt. You know what? The list can go on. Just work on your communication, baby, okay? Now, I know some of y'all gonna get to the end of this video and be like, Look, if you want a healthier relationship, start taking criticism. Take each piece if it applies and let it apply. If it doesn't, then go on about your business. But if you want a healthier relationship, if you're dating, if you're a girlfriend, if you're a wife, whatever it may be, you want a healthy relationship, baby, take the criticism as constructive. Take it as a learning tool. Use it and change.
That's exactly what I keep on saying. Some of these young ladies are not good people. They're not great people to be in relationships with. They're wondering why men won't take them on a date, don't want to have anything to do with them, just decide to avoid them altogether. I'm not going to protect. Listen, normally, if you were a good person, I would love to be around you and to hang out. Man, I'll even buy you lunch. But y'all are so insufferable that people just don't want to be around somebody so contentious and so miserable all the time.
I hate to be the friend that's always like, that's the bare minimum, that's the bare minimum. But girl, it is the bare minimum. He paid for your food? Great, my dad does that. He said that you were pretty? My mom does that every single day, and all her Facebook friends do too. Oh, he opened your door? My gay best friend does that. It is the bare minimum, girl, because if he's your boyfriend or if he's your partner, he should want to do those things for you. And if my friends and my family can already do the things that he's doing without...
People like her are so exhausting to deal with in real life. The fact that you think those are bare minimum activities because you know other people who also do them doesn't make it bare minimum. Because like in any logical person's brain, I can literally do the same thing back and say, hey, you understand, like, you've never cooked me a meal. You know my mom does that, so if you're not doing that, like, I'm getting the bare minimum. My mom calls me super handsome every single day. You've never really done that much. So, you know, basically I'm settling here. And I have a female best friend at work that says that I'm a really nice guy and I'm actually a really great guy. So technically, if you're not calling me a great guy, I'm settling. It's almost like familial love and romantic love are completely different. And the fact that you're comparing what your dad does and your mom does to what your metaphorical boyfriend does, crazy. Because the thing with this argument is literally everything at this point would be the bare minimum, because I can name pretty much everything that is a nice thing to do and say, oh, I know somebody else in my family who does that too. Because I would argue and ask this girl, what do you do to the man that he couldn't go and get from his mom, his dad, his best guy friend, maybe a really close girlfriend? What do you bring? And I just hate this thing where people name things that are clearly not the bare minimum, like they're overall pretty nice things to do. And just because you know other people who have done it, you're like, oh, that's the bare minimum. I've used this example here before, but it's like if I lost my wallet with $1,000 in it, and then somebody returned that wallet and gave me all of the money back. And I said, well, he should be doing that. That's literally the bare minimum. Yes, you are correct. He should be doing that. But majority of people don't do those things. And then in her own video, she's like, well, he should want to hold the door open for you. He should want to pay for your date and call you pretty. Yeah, so he's doing those things. And then you're still saying that it's the bare minimum because your mom, dad, and gay best friend do it. Imagine how upset with yourself you'd feel if, as a girl, you sit there and like plan something really extravagant for his birthday. I don't know, you set up his whole entire house with flowers, you did all this extravagant stuff, and then he goes, oh, well, that's the bare minimum because, actually my mom did that or my ex-girlfriend did that a couple years ago. It's pretty much the bare minimum. Because even if we pretend to act like her logic actually has some sense of reality to it, she would actually just go and shoot herself in the foot, because then a guy could do the same thing back to her, and I can guarantee you, you're not doing anything that he couldn't get from one of his guy best friends or any of his family members. I'm sure when he goes out with one of his family members, they pay for the dinner, but you don't pay. I'm sure every time he sees his family, they give him a bunch of compliments, but you don't do that. And I can definitely guarantee when he does nice things for one of his guy best friends or his family members, they probably say thank you and are very appreciative, which I guarantee you aren't doing that, because the reality is most of these people who are sitting there happy and excited over these nice gestures that somebody did to them on a date, these people who go and diminish that, they're just upset because they don't have somebody who's doing that to them. And they try to hide behind that they have higher standards, when in reality, most of these people, when they finally do get in a relationship, it's the most average to below average individual ever. And they hide behind the fact that they have super high standards and they're waiting for somebody to really impress them, just so they don't admit the fact that nobody wants them in the first place. But that's just my opinion. But hey, what do you think?
And when you start asking questions in general to some of these women, they get upset by that. What do you bring to the table? Okay, if you want me to be like your dad, then you need to be like my mom. I ain't gonna be like your mom. I'm unique. I'm my own person. How dare a man even say that? Divorce immediately. Well, how come you keep on disrespecting me? How come you keep on insulting me by saying I'm not doing enough? I'm buying you flowers. I'm trying to cook and clean. I'm trying to help out to the best of my ability. And you keep on disrespecting me to my face. These modern I'm telling you, some of these ladies out here do not have the common sense, emotional intelligence, or wherewithal to see and understand, truly comprehend what they're saying is extremely problematic.
Hot take, but I do fear that online dating has just completely ruined everything. And I actually do have a question for the men out there who are single and use online dating apps. Do you feel that online dating has made it harder for you to approach a woman in person? I even feel the same way. Like, I feel like online dating has made it hard for me to want to approach a man in person. And I feel like it's just that fear of rejection. And like, I never want to approach a man that's in a relationship. How awkward would that be? And vice versa, I'm sure. But I think it's so crazy. And if you've been here for any amount of time, you know I'm watching Sex and the City for the very first time. And these girls, they don't have a care in the world. They go up to any man and they approach them. And I'm like, I could never. And that might be my bad. And let me just give you an example. I was grabbing coffee with my girlfriend this morning, and there was a very attractive man that, I was like, oh my gosh, bestie, like, I'm into him. He's really cute. So I smiled at him and he smiled back. And it seemed that we were both kind of giving each other like the okay to approach one another, but neither of us approached each other. So I've just been thinking about that all day, because I'm sitting here like, what do I need to do? The dating apps are definitely not working. And I tend to hermit and like to be in my apartment. But when I do go out and I see someone that I'm interested in, I don't know how to go about it. And I think that the online dating scene has just tainted my view of how to approach someone in the wild, if you will. But I'm curious to know if anyone else feels this way, because dating in this day and age is so hard. So hard. But let me know who's in this with me, because whew.
Mike said dating apps ruined dating. The people who use dating apps ruined dating. Step aside, Butch says, unlike women, for a man, there can be a social penalty, quote unquote, for approaching. He's making her uncomfortable. He's labeled as a creep. She feels threatened. She's not here for that, etc., etc. Especially true for the average guy.
Oh, and one more thing. One more thing that I want y'all to know. The secret of success I'm going to give to y'all. Women don't leave good men. Women don't leave good men. Okay? So if you're dating this man and he's telling you that he was everything to this woman and she just didn't deserve it, and he did everything and she just didn't deserve it, babe, women don't leave good men. And you will soon see why those women left. Okay? I mean, think about it. It's already a shortage. There's already a shortage of good men. Once we factor the ones that are in jail, the ones that are gay, even the ones that are DL, the abusers. Take all them out. There are not a lot of good men left. So if you're dating a man who is telling you that that woman was so horrible, she was so bad, she just took advantage. Women don't leave good men. They do exist though. Good men do exist, but they're few and far in between. I'm gonna say this one more time. Women don't leave good men. And pay attention to the dating patterns and habits. If he's never been single, scary. If he relationship hops, fearful. If he has multiple broken homes, yikes. Yeah. Women don't leave good men. End of story.
There's a guy in the comments that asked, so what is your description of a good man? There was a guy that commented back and said, I basically, in so many words, they were going back and forth. I don't understand this competition with women. As a man, you just do whatever you're going to do. And as long as you're seen in a positive light, you don't get a gold star for doing what you're supposed to be doing. Again, back to the question, what do you see as a good man? Because we've seen online and in real life, women leaving men that were good men. And people online and in real life have to say, what are you leaving him for? Well, this, well, that, well, this, that. Kevin Samuels was talking to a woman, left the man after 5 years, and she was like, oh, well, I just wasn't happy. I really wasn't feeling it. Why? No reason at all. She just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't happy. I want to go do something else. I just got tired. I just got bored. They never take accountability for how they show up in the relationship. The dude in the comments that I was talking about going back and forth saying, you just need to do what you need to do as a man. We always have to prove ourselves. Exactly. A man throughout the course of his life always has to prove himself. And today with some women, they don't think they have to do anything. And men are not taking that. You sit at home doing nothing. You sit by the pool. And if a man were to say, what have you been doing all day? And a man begins to require you to do something, a man begins to require an ROI, then all of a sudden he's misogynistic. He's controlling and manipulative. That's what we're saying. What is your definition of a good man? A man should not have to continue day in and day out proving himself and nothing happens, because at that point in time when you're proving yourself, you're working hard. So if you're working hard, you're spending money, you're putting money, time, resources into something. And if there's something that's never coming out of that, then that's a bad investment.